So, last session we have discussed how what are the steps we need to follow to compile and execute the program. So, now we will try to understand what are the different character set whenever we need to use whenever we write a program or a set of instructions, or we in simple way we can say what are the different coding conventions with respect, or we can say what are the different characters set we need to be used while writing a program. With respect to this, yes, we have so many building blocks with respect to the writing a program, that is nothing but character set. First, what are the different the characters we need to use while writing a program. In that, first one is character set. A character may be anything, or we can say a character which denotes an alphabet, or it might be a digit, or it might be a special symbol. Basically, all these we are used to represent a particular an information, a valid alphabet, or it may be a number, or it may be a special symbol. So, most of the times whenever our high level programming language is consisting of consists of all these characters. See, if it is an alphabet, then of course we have all the upper case and lower case, that is A to Z and lower case A to Z, A to Z and lower case. It's all comes under alphabet. If it is a digit, or we call it as a numeric, it's a 0 to 9. Yes, maybe it's a single digit. Now you can use 11, 12, any digits between so this 0 to 9, and special symbols all which are period, colon, semicolon, asterisk, parenthesis, ampersand, so greater than, less than. So these are all the different symbols which we use as a special symbols when we are writing our program. So the alphabets, numbers and special symbols, when properly combined, which will form a constant. So constant, whatever you define, whether it may be a constant, or it may be a variable, or it may be a keyword, or it may be anything, so which is made up of or combination of these alpha. It's a from the character set only. Then only thing is there is a definition. What is constant? Yes. What is variable? That is definition changed, but name of the constant or name of the variable which is defined by using this character set only. But what exactly the constant or variable, that we will discard. Maybe there is another term, that is a special word or nothing but keyword. We also call it as a reserved word. What exactly it is, the definition of constant, variable and keywords, that we will discuss in the next session. But anything which you define under the high level language, which all everything is built by using this character set. So first thing is identifier. So again, identifier is name of something, whether it is a name of a constant, or it's a variable, or it may be anything, name of a file or a class or a function, everything is an identifier. Then how do you define an identifier? We call it as an identifier is a user defined word. User, we are the users, whoever writing the instructions is the or she is the user. User defined, we are going to define our own set of characters to define something. So user defined identifiers are nothing but it's identifiers are user defined word. For what we are using? Identifier is a user defined word used to name of some entities like variable name, or it may be an array name, or it may be a function name, or it may be a structure name. Your function name, anything. So that we call it as an identifier. In simple way, identifier is a user defined word to define a variable, to define a function, to define a structure. So that we call it as an identifier. Always whenever you write an identifier, we need to follow some rules. Always by keeping the rules in mind, we just we need to define the identifier. Then what are those rules? We will try to understand. Name should be, or name should only consist of alphabets. Name should consist only alphabets, maybe a combination of or both uppercase or lowercase. Digits, your name should consist of alphabets, digits and even the underscore. That means try to avoid the special symbols while defining the name. Next, always first character of an identifier should be an alphabet or an underscore. You should not start with 1, 2, 3 something or 1 something. That means your name of the identifier always should be an uppercase, or we can say forget about the uppercase, should be an alphabet, or it might be an underscore. Underscore C program or C programming language, that is a one identifier. You should not start 1, 2, 3 C programming or 9 C. You should not use digit as your first character. So, first character of a word or an identifier should be an alphabet or underscore. So, name should not be a keyword. Whatever the identifier or the user defined word or the identifier we are using, that should not be a keyword. Keyword is nothing but a reserved word. You should not supposed to use that, it is a predefined meaning. So, already yes, if I say addition, add, that is my word, I am giving to find out the sum of two numbers. I can say number 1, it is a one identifier, number 2 is another identifier. After adding number 1 and number 2, I will get some result, I will store it in result or nothing but sum. So, these are all my own identifiers, nothing but the user defined word. There are some, similarly, there are some words which are predefined. You cannot use it for any other purpose, which are, those words are already having the predefined meaning. Suppose if I say, in the last session we have seen one of the examples, C programming example, there we have used include, main. So, that means your compiler always is trying to find the main function. You cannot use that as an identifier because main has a special meaning. So, you cannot use that main as an identifier or user defined word. That is what it means. Name or identifier name should not be a keyword, should not be a user we call it as a reserved word or a keyword. These are some typical guidelines. One is always your word should consist of either alphabets or digits. First character should be an alphabet or an underscore, and it should not contain any reserved words or keywords. Since C programming is a case sensitive, the uppercase and lower case considered be differently. If I say C, or we can say VTU, V lowercase, T lowercase, U is lowercase. So, that word is one identifier. Next, immediately I can say V uppercase, TU, that is another identifier. Even though both are VTU, first word or in a first identifier, all the characters VTU all in lowercase, and second word V is in uppercase, TU is a small, both are VTU, but still because of the case, one is lower, another only the first character is upper. So, both are different. Even if I say VTU all are uppercase, again it is a third different word, all three are different. You can these three we call it as three different variables, right. Always case, it is a C, we call it then in simple way C programming is a case sensitive. You cannot, or upper and lower case, whenever you consider or whenever you use it, it will be a different only. For example, what we have discussed VTU, similarly I have taken here code CODE, C is an uppercase, ODE all lowercase, here COD all are lowercase, here all are uppercase. So, these are all now, even though it is a code, but three different identifiers, we call it as a different identifier. That is what the case sensitive mean. Next, identifiers are always, whenever you use any name in your program, identifier always you need to give some meaningful word or names such as a value, net salary, age, data, date, data, and then we can say addition, subtraction, name of the student, subject 1, C programming, like that. Always the meaningful, you cannot simply, you cannot say A, X, Y, Z. Yes, that will be fine, perfectly fine, don't have any issues, but end of the day maybe you will get confused what exactly A means. Again you need to just read line by line. So what exactly, yes, today I have written the program, maybe after 1 week, just if I see the program, same program, even though I am the I only written that program, but you might not have any clue what that A is. So because to understand what A is, again you need to go through the step by step program. Instead of that, you always it is recommended to use, whenever you define an identifier, it is recommended to use appropriate or meaningful name. Then it's very easy to identify that identifier. And always whenever you go and compile, always your ANSI standard compiler will recognize all these characters. What are the characters your ANSI will recognize? First 8 characters, and most recognize 31 characters because different compilers. ANSI standard compiler will recognize the 31 characters. Some of the invalid identifiers are 5CB, int, REC hash, AVG, NO, etc. So because here int consists of reserved word, average, space. See, one of the identifier means it should become continuous. You should not supposed to use in between any spaces. So these are some of the some rules you need to follow while defining an identifier. And there are certain words, already we have discussed keywords, we call it as a reserved word, which are specifically designed, which is already predefined, meaning which are reserved for that particular task. So that we call it as a reserved word, we also call it as a keyword. So those words are which are already having the predefined meaning. Always these keywords here are written in lowercase or smaller case small letters. So these words are predefined and always written in lowercase or small letter. These keywords cannot be used as a variable name, or it may be a function name. So in simple way, keywords are reserved word, you cannot use it as an identifiers. That's all. Some of the examples for keywords: int, chart, signed, unsigned, default, volatile, float, long, static, continue, break, case, if, else, for, while. Because these are also looks like similar to an identifier, but it's not an identifier. These are all keywords which are already having the predefined meaning to perform for the specific task. So this is what it mean is. You cannot use these keywords as an identifier. Next topic is data type. As we have seen, data type, always we have seen in the first previous example, num1, int num1 is equal to 10. What is that num1? It's a variable. So what exactly I need to accommodate in that num1? See, whenever we talk about variable, it's it's a space, storage area. We are just assigning some value to that in that particular area, memory. But how much data I need to accommodate, or what type of data I need to accommodate, who will give that instruction? That instruction will come from the data type. Data type, basically it's a what we can say, data type refers to an extensive system which are helpful, or which are used to declare the variable, or it may be a function of different types before its use. The type of the variable determines how much space it for, how much I need to accommodate, how much space I need to give for that. So how much space it occupies with respect to the storage or memory, and how the bit pattern will be interpreted. Pattern will be stored, that stored bit pattern is interpreted. The value of variable always or any time can be changed. So there are some 4 types of data types here. Basic data types are integer, float, double, char, and enumeration. When it comes to the enumeration, it's a keyword called enum, and if it is a derived data type, there are pointer, array, structure, and union. These are some data types: int, float, double, char, enum, array, structure, union. Yes, we have a collection of characters are nothing but strings. So that also we will discuss one by one. Void. void is one of the data type which will not return anything. A variable, if any variable declared to be an int, it can be stored only the integer value, that means only the digits, like without decimal values. And if variable is declared as a float, yes, even though it is a digit, even though it stores the integer what is that numbers, but it contains the decimal values or decimal places. Next, double, which is similar to the float. Whatever we have seen in the float, the same thing for applicable for double also. Only thing is it will roughly twice the precision, the decimal, the precision will be differs when we compare to the float and double. Char is a single character that can be used to represent a single character, that is nothing but a letter A. Whatever you use as a character or to represent a character, that should be a colon. So, the digit, if I say 6 or a semicolon, which is also similar to variable. So, declared char can only store the character type, always that character type is used in the what is that, quotes. Two types of type qualifier, that is a size from lower to the higher. What are that? Size, one is size, another one is sign. You take any integer or float, either we have both short as well as long size, and even the signed, unsigned, positive, and sometimes when you specify, then signed and unsigned, these are the another two qualifiers. So, when someone asks like type of qualifier, size, another one is signed qualifier. When the qualifier is unsigned, it is used, the number is always a positive. If there is no sign, then by default it will be assumed as a positive, and whenever it is a signed is used, the number may be a positive number. If you declare this a signed qualifier, then always you specify whether it may be a positive or negative. Unsigned means always it is a qualifier is used, number is always positive. If the sign qualifier is not mentioned, then by default sign qualifier is positive. The range of values for the signed data types is less than that the unsigned data type, because the signed type, the leftmost bit is used to represent the sign whenever you define, because internally that's how conversion will happen. Left side bit always will be considered as a for the sign to represent the sign. So, unsigned type bit always used to represent the value. That is the reason always signed data type is less than the unsigned data type. So, the size and range of the different data types on a 16-bit machine is given below. Here we have considered a 16-bit machine. With respect to that, I am giving the range of each data type, basic data type, and even this is what the qualifier we use, and size, and with respect to the range. If it is a character, whether it is a signed character or unsigned character. So, bytes, in terms of byte it is a 1, and range is minus 128 to the 127, 0 to 258 if you do not consider as a sign, that is unsigned. With respect to integer, see everywhere it is a signed int, unsigned int, signed short, unsigned short, long int, short int, or nothing but long int, or signed int, signed long int, unsigned long int. Similarly, float, double, long double. So, these are the bit. If it is an integer, 2. When you consider only the signed short int, short means 1, long means 4, right. If it is a float, 4, double is 8, long double means 10, and these are the range of the characters with respect to the data type. So, I think these are the very basic whenever we define a program, very first thing is important character set. With the help of characters only we will define an identifier, and once we define the identifier, we need to specify what type of data you are storing. So, to that we have discussed the data type. In data type we have different data types, there is a int, a float, char, right, and float, double, long, short. So, all like int, short, long, these are all comes under only to specify the integer numbers, and long float and double, which are the numbers with decimal values, character only the particular character. That is what in the this session.